Hello everyone, I'm Naval Yemul. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Data Master. So, welcome to the playlist of Microsoft Fabric. So, this is the second video. So, I request you to please watch the first video on introductory to Microsoft Fabric. And now, in this video, we are going to see the different components of data Microsoft Fabric, and in that, we are going to explore more on data engineering side. So I have just logged into my website, that is app.powerbi.com. So this will give you an experience of Microsoft Fabric. So you can click on this. You can see various other components you can do with Microsoft Fabric, starting with Power BI, Data Factory, Data Engineering, Data Science, Data Warehouse, and Real-Time Analytics. So when you click on Microsoft Fabric, you might get all the components here. You can explore different experiences. So you can switch from one to other by just clicking on to this and switching it to different workloads. Or you can come here and click on data engineering. So when you come to the data engineering, so let me show you what exactly is the documentation of, or what does Microsoft Fabric says when it comes to data engineering. So we are going to explore on data engineering side. So let me click on this. So in data engineering in Microsoft Fabric, that enables us to design, build, and maintain the infrastructure and systems that enables their organizations to collect, process, store, and analyze the large volumes of data. So you can create and manage your data using a lakehouse. So lakehouse is nothing but it is a combination of both, or it unites both data warehouse and your data lake. Combining these two, you get a lakehouse. So you can create it and you can manage your lakehouse. You can design a pipeline to copy the data into your lakehouse, and you can use the Spark job definitions to submit your batch or streaming jobs to the Spark clusters. You can even use the notebooks to write a code for data ingestion, preparation, and transformation. So you can do all that in the data engineering workspace or the data engineering component within the Microsoft Fabric. So you can create a new lakehouse. Then in that lakehouse, you can ingest the data by writing a notebook or by using a Spark job, or even by creating a pipeline, or you can even use a data flow activity also. Okay. So we will see how to do that, and we'll talk about more on how to create a lakehouse in this video. So creating a lakehouse is very simple. You just go to data engineering homepage and just click on the lakehouse. So once you click on the lakehouse, it will pop up a new window asking you the name of the lakehouse. So you just specify the name of the lakehouse and then your lakehouse is ready. So let me do that in the hands-on. So here I'm into the data engineering workload, and here if you click on the lakehouse, you will start creating a new lakehouse here. But in which workspace do you want to create a lakehouse? For example, if you look at the workspaces, I have different workspaces. Suppose in my workspace, I have various types of files here. Like I have reports, I have dashboards, I have data flows, and so on. And I have some lakehouse also. So if I want to create a lakehouse in a completely new workspace, so first you need to understand what is workspace. So this workspace, it has brought by data Microsoft Power BI service. So if you know, or if you have a knowledge on Microsoft Power BI service, so from the same they have picked up the workspace. So let me create a new workspace. So you can go to workspaces and let me click on new workspace. So I'll give a name for this as Fabric workspace, and it is available. So this workspace will be depending on your entire organization, and you can upload an image also in this, and let me click on apply. So I got a new workspace now. You can see that workspace name is Fabric. I can manage this. So when you click on manage, you can add a people inside this workspace. So this is more on the data governance part. We will discuss more on this. But for now, you just try to understand I am the admin of this workspace. I can add few more people from my organization, and I can give them the privilege these four types. I can make him or her as an admin. I can make them as a member or a contributor or just a viewer. So we will see in detail what are these privileges, what is the difference between these three or four, or I'll just give you a link for this. I have created a workspace video on YouTube. I'll give you the link on that so you can watch to get the more understanding on the workspace. Okay, now in this workspace, I'm going to create a new. You can see when you click on new, you get so many options you can do within your workspace. So I want to create a new lakehouse. So you can click it from here to create a new lakehouse, or you can go to data engineering workload and from here you can click on the lakehouse. But before you click on the lakehouse, you just verify that on which workspace you are in. So I'm into the fabric workspace. Just now we have created it, and now let us create a lakehouse. So when you click on, it will ask you to the name of your lakehouse. So let me write my name as a first lakehouse. So this is our first lakehouse. You can give a name in this way, and let me click on create. So once you click on create, your lakehouse is ready. So if you know like how the storage account works, your ADLS account works, so you need to give all the details. You need to select the data center, you need to select the region, redundancy, then do you want a blob or do you want a ADLS? You need to do all that, and then your storage account will be deployed to you. But when it comes to Microsoft Fabric, it is a software as a service. You don't need to do anything. Just go to the Lakehouse, and once you click on it, your Lakehouse is ready. So if I go back to my Fabric workspace, you can see once you create a Lakehouse with the name called first Lakehouse, by default you are getting a SQL endpoint also. So by default you are getting a SQL endpoint, and by default you are getting one data set also. So these are by default. So when with one lakehouse, so if you create one lakehouse, with that you get one SQL endpoint also, and then you get one data set also. So let me just open the lakehouse. So once I click on the lakehouse, you can see you get a data explorer. In your lakehouse we might find a tables and we find a files. So you can ingest the like external sources directly to the files by using a manual upload, or you can create a shortcut also. We will discuss in detail like how to ingest that and what are the different ways. So when I click on tables, you can get a option to create a new shortcut. So new shortcut is, let me click on this, I'll show you. So now you can connect to the external sources. So your data might be in your ADLS or it might be in your Amazon S3. You don't need to move your data or you don't need to copy your data from your source file or from your source. That is, it might be your ADLS or it might be your S3. You did not copy the data into your lakehouse. You can keep that data there only, and you can just create a shortcut and you can start querying that easily into your Microsoft Fabric by using this shortcut. So we will connect this. We will see shortly like how you can do that maybe in the coming video. And you can see inside your lakehouse you can create a new data flow gen 2, or you can create a pipeline. You can bring a data into the lakehouse by using a notebook or by using a shortcut. So there are four different ways how you can ingest the data into your lakehouse. Not only this, you can upload it manually also. You can see you can upload a file or you can upload your entire folder. So this is all about the lakehouse and the UI of the Lakehouse. So you can switch from Lakehouse to SQL endpoints. Suppose you got a table and if you want to start querying it, you can just use the SQL endpoint. But now you do not have any table in that. Let me check. Yeah, you can see here there is no data inside your Lakehouse. So this is your like your serverless SQL. So you get some SQL endpoints and you can directly start querying it, but you need some tables inside your lakehouse so that we can query. So we will first get the data into our lakehouse by maybe different methods, and then we'll start getting that into a table or a file, and then we'll query it. So this was about the data engineering and the lakehouse, how the first lakehouse is created. So in the next video, we will move towards how to get the data into your lakehouse by different options. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you like the content, please like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also please comment and share it with your friend. Thank you again. Keep learning.